Hello everybody and welcome to the Talbot Village Trust 10-year strategy launch. So they're doing, like, so there's so many people at the moment, they're doing a 2035 strategy, and they just reminded us of some of the things I know whether you know about the Talbot Village Trust. Well, they're a local trust that was founded about 180 years ago by two Christian ladies who dedicated their lives to a part of Bournemouth and beyond, and they set up, their original aim was like one of those classic Christian entrepreneurs of the day, was to set up homes, was set up a farm, a school and a church, so to lift people out of poverty and into a place of resilience, like we talk about quite a lot. And I like some of their values. They talk about their first two values. It's to be visionary and to be brave. I think that's a great value. I mean, we're not put it into our welcoming, empowering and all that sort of stuff, but I like the idea of being brave in terms of some of the decisions they're making. So what's it got to do with us? Well, it's good that we're in the room. Everybody's in the room. So as one of the key charities locally, it's great that we've been invited to be part of this, and we have had funds from there before. And one of the second reasons for being here is they're just going to open up a capital fund, which we will be able to get. I know across the organisation we've got various places where it'd be very useful to have some capital funds right now, so it's good for us to be in the room. But the third thing is they're building strategic partnerships around, there's a big plan of what to do south of the university, if you know that, in Bournemouth, and lots of ideas in there, but they want to build strategic partnerships to look at key issues. And obviously we're chatting to them about, the Emmaus project we talked about. Well, maybe they can help in that, but there might be other ways that we can link in with them to try and solve some of the bigger problems. So definitely worth us being here. They're a key anchor organisation, and actually we just had a presentation from Spear, who we're doing a load of work with in the training area as well. So lots of good things to build on. Hello again, everybody. So Friday afternoon, and just come down to Poole for having a whole range of meetings. But actually, when you come in here, it's always great. It's like coming to any of the venues that we run. So we had talking to Katrina from the CMA team. Really excited that we're going to we're now on the verge of getting into a DRO, debt relief order, for one of her clients, who is super excited after a long up and down time to be finally getting to that point where she can see the end in sight with regard to getting debt free. And there's another two debt relief orders coming down the line. So busy time, and but a really encouraging time. And then I met one of the volunteers who we've known for a while, has worked around here, Rona, and she went on the Poverty Truth Commission, which was, there's a whole nother story, but which we'll explain another time. But it really increased her confidence, and to see her talking about being invited along by the local MP and being able to speak into a mentoring situation, just transformation in her life. So thank you for the work you're doing with volunteers as well, because it does lift them up as well. And then Ilana telling me about having a conversation with the Adams practice, big GP practice over here in Poole, who are not the best at getting referrals in, I think is how Alana would very politely say it. But she invited them in. Two of the practice leads came along. 2.5 hours later, real big turnaround, in terms of understanding the life centre work, the wraparound work that we do, and also thinking about maybe making us their charity of the year. So hats off to you, Ilana, for that one. But it just shows how spending time with people to explain what we do is so important. So actually it made sense of one of the reasons I came down here. We had a session with Jada, new marketing assistant Jada, who has been adding to a whole, we've got obviously some of the businesses that we know already, but down here in Poole she's focusing in on how can we help Smile, how can we help Poole Food Bank Life Centre. And actually she's called about 90 organisations, really been businesses trying to build those relationships. And her first win is getting the fish and chips all paid for the Lone Parent Fair. So a business called, I think, Mobile Mick, though his name seems to be Richard, so we're trying to work out that one. Anyway, he's up and ready to support us at the Lone Parent Fair, and there are other nice little sort of avenues which he's really hoping to close off, independent cafes, and we talked about a whole range of other things that they could have, as well as having a media pack that Ilana and Danny could take out, so that when they meet a business, they could do the same. So lots of good stuff coming out of that. The other reason I was down here was there was a Renters' Rights Act seminar, just getting us up to speed. So you'll know that of today, so today I'm recording this on a Friday, so the 1st of May, the new Renters' Rights Act comes into play. That's important because for those of us that we're working with people who are maybe coming in and out of homelessness, the Section 21 ability to get rid of someone who's in private rented with a no-fault eviction, as they're called, that all comes to an end. It particularly touches us because of the assured tenancies that we've got with Hope into Action families in some of our houses. That's got to be, we've got to go through some changes in that. It's got a lot of detail in it, as you can imagine. There's some really great resources. This was some training that Shelter have done, some really great resources, which I will share with you, just in case that's of interest to you. And I know that we will seek to upskill those of you particularly working in this area over the coming days. The other thing it's worth saying, I was at the Talbot Village Trust thing, talked about just before, and all of that grant funding operation. I just want to take my hats off to all of you who are involved in grant fundraising. When people ask me, how do we fund Faith Work? So we say normally about 55% of our funds come from grants. And some of you have extraordinary local links. So particularly Tracy over in Christchurch has links with so many Christchurch funders. And some of them, like the Magdalene Trust, have been fabulous funders of CMA work, the hardship fund that we have, the Furniture Bank. They've just done a great job, and Tracy's really worked on those relationships, so that's been great. But I maybe not explained properly that we also do an awful lot of fundraising for the rest of the organisation in terms of writing grants. So Rob Cox, whose substantive role, as you know, is around comms and marketing and leading the training function, he has a secondary role outside of that one, which is as our grant fundraiser. So he is writing bids every week, throughout the week, and he and I sit down and we work through what are the ones that are going to help us across the board, and then liaise with you as individual projects to see that how we can get the detail and how you can see that. But Rob managed to bring in over £240,000 worth of grants through his bids last year, which is a huge proportion of all that we need. So it's great that we have someone focused in on that, and it will continue to be something that we really take seriously. As you can imagine, we've got these two seriously big bids, one around homelessness, one around CMA and the financial resilience work, which we're waiting for July to come through. So that's in the future. Thank you for all you're doing. Hope you managed to get some rest this bank holiday weekend, despite the weather, whatever it's going to be. And this weekend, we'll be able to tell you when you see this, we've over in the Wimborne Community Garden, have got their special garden up at that has been designed for the Bewley Garden Show, which is a sort of a Gardener's World local show. So it's very prestigious, and that's this Sunday. So Sharon and I are going to go down there and see all that Jane and the team from the Wimborne Community Garden have gone. Anyway, it's enough from me. Talked far too long. Thanks for all you do.